pretty crazy, right? I mean, anytime I see anything Liquid Death puts out into the world, I feel shock and delight. And then I think, did they really just do that? So Andy Pearson, their VP of Creative, likens their creative process to the comedy room, to being in the writer's room of a comedy show, and Liquid Death is the character. He has defined what this character can and can't do based on the values of the company. Again, their company ethos. And that is hugely liberating for everyone there, because they can take huge creative risks as long as they stay within those guardrails. And like Darryl Fielding, they follow their hearts. Andy Pearson has said, Liquid Death is, quote, really just an amalgamation of all the things we find interesting. Heavy metal music, art, absurdist comedy, health and environmental issues, sketch comedy, all thrown into a bag and shaken up. They spend most of their marketing dollars creating content, which they release on their own channels, and they make a lot of it. They don't believe in pre-testing. They learn as they go. So they look at the data from each release, and they figure out the next things from that. Again, here we see active, engaged, in-the-moment, responsive listening. He says, Andy Pearson, he likens it to being at the mic of a comedy show. And this enables them as well to be nimble, to tap into pop culture, and to never be too precious about anything. It's a great strategy because you never really know what's going to work. So if something doesn't work, that's okay, because they are so prolific. So here again, science gives us wonderful insights, this time into the interplay between risk-taking, creativity, and Liquid Death's enormous success. Researchers can predict who among us are most likely to engage in creative activity based on our appetite for failure and public disapproval. It turns out that the most creative people fail a lot, but they don't care what people think. So they learn as they go, and they have so many outsized successes that make up for the failures. Liquid Death clearly is comfortable with who they are, their values, their ethos, and they don't care what we think. If we find this crazy universe they've created compelling, we are welcome to join. And if we don't, we will end up in their marketing, like we saw in the spot I just played that was inspired by a comment on the internet. I would rather lick a fat man's back than drink Liquid Death. My favorite are the songs and music videos they've created in collaboration with leading music performers, with lyrics taken from their hate mail. You can even buy the Greatest Hates vinyl box set. I encourage everyone to listen to the Spotify playlist. It's actually brilliant. So this brings us to the next storytelling truth. To create anything that stands out and drives results, you need to know who you are, your values and ethos, big theme we've seen today, and then take bold risks. This helps explain why Liquid Death appeals to the hard-to-reach millennials and Gen Z, who make up 70% of their customers. Gen Z is now 70 million strong, 1/5 of our population. They're wary of advertising and spend a lot of time in online niche communities. How brilliant of Liquid Death to create their own communities that Gen Z wants to be a part of. And it makes sense because Gen Z and Liquid Death share 3 primary values: authenticity, humor, and sustainability.